Here we go again. Another sound setup. Did some research and apparently the iPhone 7 has 4 microphones in it. 4. So if this sounds like shit, what can I do? There's 4 fucking microphones and they should be able to figure it out. Anyways, here we go again. It's snowy. It's Canada. I'm trying to set myself right with the world every day. Every day you wake up, you know, you have to go through some sort of ritual if you want to be what they call a human being, as opposed to, you know, a human not being or a human going. Somebody got that out there, I hope. If you don't do these things, you turn into a fucking shell of yourself. What these things involve for me are like eating, sleeping, going outside. You know, you have to do these things for your body. You gotta drink water and you gotta relax. But I don't know, these videos, it's so much more than that. I feel like this is something else. And I felt like a new self coming through in all of this, and I think it's pretty useful. I think that the original intention of these videos, to connect with spirit, still stands true and has been working for me. It's cool to just have these journals to look back on, even if it's just me and a handful of people. So right now I know my audience is, you know, handful, 5 to 10 people tops. So if this is your first time watching, thanks a lot. This is probably the highest quality video you're gonna get. Anyways, what I want to talk about today, a few things. I want to talk about when you're offered the world, why you should turn it down. And I want to talk about why pain is a good teacher. And I think that talking about why pain is a good teacher is the first thing I should talk about. So even just in preparation, just screwing around, you know, trying to do 3 things at once to maximize my time, which is a hurried thing to do. Scratch my face on a tree branch. And I feel like that's like Bukowski's shoelace. Like, you know, on top of everything else, that could just be the straw that broke the camel's back. But I think that like relaxing is probably the best way to approach that. And just maybe not even rely, maybe just treating it as a sign. It doesn't have to be a sign from God necessarily. It could just be a sign from nature. Nature is just a reflection, right? But it doesn't always necessarily have to go all the way up to the big man, the great gig in the sky. That's a band to think of, Pink Floyd. When we start to think about when you're offered the world, bands at that scale, I want to talk a little bit more about pain before we get into that. But like a good parent, the world does not inappropriately punish you. This world gives you exactly what you need when you need it. It can seem chaotic, It can seem like everything is falling down around you and that there is no pattern, that there is no control. But I assure you, a life in context creates a pattern. In context of what exactly? Well, everything. I think specifically right now, the spirit. A life in context with the spirit creates a rhyme and reason to why the world affects us negatively, why the world seems to reprimand and punish us like a good parent. And you can have good parents and still come out not so good. You can have terrible parents and come out great. I'm not saying that parents are the sole determining factor of how a person turns out. But what I am saying is that oftentimes, especially today, the disciplinary acts of parents are seen as more negative than positive. And that this parenting style to allow absolute freedom and to want to be friends with your kids is causing a generation a lot of pain, a lot of unnecessary pain, and a lot of greater pain than that which would have been experienced via, the hand which taketh away. They say, God giveth, God taketh away. I think it's important to acknowledge the other hand, the hidden hand, you could say. Not that it's hidden. It seems the hand that gives is all there is now. And it can hurt. It can hurt long term, ways that we don't see. And that's just it. A senior citizen in the woods told me that everybody today is living like this. And I said, haha, you mean they're looking at their phones? I just did a screen check. Yeah, here we are. There's more than just the fucking world. Or sorry, there's more than just the screen world. There's an entire world around this. Oh, fucking screen check. He's right. Everybody's living like this. And he didn't mean phones even. What he was talking about is something different. He was talking about how everybody's time preference is so short. Like, the span of time over which we plan is so short. The way that we see things and predict things affecting the world is so short-sighted. We don't take into account the bigger picture. And it may seem like a good thing to just, grab that fruit from the tree and immediately take a bite. But let me tell you, if winter's coming, you've got to learn how to plan, because that fruit won't be there anymore. This is a seasonal cycle, and we are entering the frost, the winter. This is where everything gets a lot more introspective, when things are snowy, silent, muffled. These 4 microphones better be doing their job, because this thing sucked. If you heard the last video, I want to talk about one more thing, and probably go to 15 minutes. But I've seen in the Bible multiple times that the devil offers the world to Jesus Christ. When we see in the Bible, it also says, you know, take ye not your treasures in this world, for your kingdom is the kingdom of heaven. Like we're not going to be able to take anything with us. That's not the scripture, by the way. I think it's important to say I try my best, but I don't have a lot of this memorized, and I've gone back and forth between translations. You have to bear with me. But I thought it was interesting, you know, I offer you the world and ye fall before me, you know, fall down before me. What is the opposite of falling down? Standing up. Standing up for oneself, standing up for God, standing up for the Spirit, standing up for what's right, standing up for the truth, standing up for the way, standing up for the light, standing up for your self-respect, standing up for your parents, standing up for your friends, standing up against tyranny in all forms, standing up against the deception and absolute bullshit lies that the population, you know, at large is being fed. We can help each other activate the flame. We do not need to fall down for this world. This world is temporary, but our energy and the way that we balance it will go on long after we die. Do not be deceived. Do not be afraid. Align yourself with the Most High, the highest principle that you can imagine. And if that's still low for you, something like pleasure or comfort, I want you to seriously think if the richest, most seemingly comfortable people in the world are truly happy. When we're offered the world, when we're offered great fame and renown at the price of our self-respect, to go through somewhat of an initiation of humiliation in order to enter into the world of celebrity, to the world of, you know, mass media manipulation, mind control, consciousness modulation at a grand scale. Like when you're I don't know, I'm just fucking riffing here, but you know what I'm saying? Like, you have to turn that down. You cannot fucking accept it. And why does it always seem as though when you're offered the world, you have to sacrifice something very important in order to get it? You have to give them your mind. You have to give them your body. You have to cut yourself off from spirit in order to do so. Because when you live a life of lies and self-deception, your connection to spirit is weakened, regardless of what you want to think. It's simply the way it is. Your dreams will begin to scare you. Your thoughts, which seem as though they are guiding, will lead you toward snake pits. You have to do what you can. Everything which is within your will, within your power, to align yourself with something higher. This is what I do every day. Every single day. I really try. And so much has changed in my life. The harder I go. But I don't want to tread like that anymore. I want to tread softly and with grace forever. I think that's that's everything. So enjoy the winter.